again, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving week, and thanks for coming out and joining us on this beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota day. It is basketball weather, you can tell that. Before we get to basketball, it's been a nice week for the Hardrockers. We're going to recap the volleyball season. He's been on the road and things like that, so welcome up head coach of the volleyball program, Doug Tabbert.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. I don't know about you, I live out in the hills. I shoveled snow this morning, went and took a shower, got dressed, got ready to come out and go to work, and I had to basically shovel again because I couldn't even tell I shoveled the first time. So hopefully you had better weather than at your place. Just a real quick recap here. Our last match was our home match against UCCS. They were tied for third in the conference at the time, and they've got 3 all-conference kids in their starting lineup. One of the best matches we played all year, if you were there. We went 5 with them. Lost the first one, came back, won the second, dropped the third, came back. I think we were down 18-12 in the fourth, and came back and got even again. And then I think we were down 24-20 in the fourth, and scored 6 straight to come and get the fourth, which was a lot of fun, and really happy to see our players do that. Got off to, I think, a 3-1 lead in the fifth, and then I think our youth kind of caught up to us, and they went on a little run, and then we had a hard time getting back in it. But one of the best matches we played all year, one of the most competitive matches we played all year, against a team that is really playing pretty well, made the conference tournament. So we felt good about how we ended in terms of our level of play, and did some good things in that match. So kind of recap the season. This was certainly a development season for us. The record isn't what we're looking for, but there were some good things. We went toe-to-toe against some good teams. We gave Carleton State fits when we played them early in the year. They're a national tournament team. Regis into the national tournament, played well against them. Metro is undefeated in the conference regular season. We went toe-to-toe against them at their place. Mace's in the national tournament, gave them problems at well times. So, we need to do better than just go toe-to-toe with teams for a while. We want to win some matches, but I think we showed some positives, and I think we showed what we could potentially do. Second year in the RMAC, and we were the youngest team I've ever coached this year. Most of the time, if you look out on the floor, we probably had 5 freshmen playing at any one time, and that's it showed at times that we paid the price for that at times. But I feel good about some things we're doing. Had some other nice accomplishments. Emily Newton was an honorable mention all-conference player. And that's hard to do in our conference. You get 28 people that you vote for when you do the all-conference voting, and that's tough. And that means she had at least 2 people that put her, 2 coaches put her in their top 28. So happy to see her do that. She was all-conference, all-tournament at the Angelo State tournament in the year. And that was a really tough tournament. There was some really good teams there, and it was a 7-team all-tournament team, so to make that was good for her. And then she turned around and made the all-tournament team the next weekend at Sioux Falls, so I'm happy to see her do that. Anna Bright was first-team all-academic RMAC, and had a really good season as well. We had some things that went on there well for us as far as the year went on. We're young, and we just gotta build. We're looking forward to the spring. Abby and I have got a lot of work to do this spring. Our players have a lot of work to do. They're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. We just need to get in the gym this spring and work hard on some things and develop our players, and we certainly plan on doing that. So, and our players are looking forward to spring too. A lot of them have told us that they can't wait for spring. So we just got to keep going. I think the thing we probably feel as good about as anything is we hung in there all year despite the record and the lack of success in terms of wins and losses. In the last match of the year, played as well as we probably played all year. Very competitive, so it was good to see. I don't think we ever really gave up over the course of the year in terms of the team saying, we're done. So at least that's one of the positives we'll take from it as we move forward. Recruiting update, can't go into details. We did get 4 additions in the early signing period, 2 DSs, 2 middles. We hope to add 4 to 6 more before in the spring signing period. So we got some needs, so we're making some progress there as well. And like I said, we just got to keep going forward, and I think we'll do that. So, questions from anything? I appreciate all the support over the course of the year. I had a lot of people say a lot of nice things, and it was really helpful this year, especially because you're always looking for something to make you feel a little better, and we got a lot of good feedback. So thanks for doing that. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. As I see Coach Henry leave, he's lucky he's not up next. Okay, he's going to get seconds and thirds maybe. The guy that's up next, though, Hardrocker women's basketball has won back-to-back games. And I'm from Billings, Montana. I can say this. The Hardrockers beat MSU Billings by a pretty large number, so I've got a little bragging rights on my family up there. Welcome up, Head Coach Ryan Larsen.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everybody, coming out. Brad has it up on YouTube. I did speak last week all by myself, as Nate wanted me to do. But I had a good talk. A lot of Coach Henry cracks in there that y'all missed, so I won't repeat them though. But appreciate coming out. Yeah, Billings was a great game. I was informed by Mr. Mann that was the first time that Mines has beat Billings. I'm not sure how many tries, but 4, 5? Fifth time. So that's a nice little notch in our belt. Fortunately, it was the first time we've ever played at home, so I know that definitely has something to do with it. But it was a great win. To rewind a little bit, the week prior we went to Sioux Falls, and had a nice little classic there at the University of Sioux Falls, and played a really good University of Sioux Falls team who played in the national tournament last year. First team all-conference center on their team. Just a really solid program for sure, and unfortunately our first half we regressed quite a bit offensively and defensively, but on the flip side of that, we had a really solid second half. We got some things corrected at halftime. We settled down quite a bit, and we actually did end up outscoring them in the second half and cutting their lead quite a bit. It made it interesting, so that was really good to see. I don't remember exactly what we outscored them in the second half, but we played much better. And ever since that half, we've really improved on a lot of aspects. The next day we came out and played Southwest and basically led for 40 minutes from tip to the final horn. It was a really nice showing, a really good offensive game. We had a number of kids just play aggressive basketball. Peyton Humpel being one, Taylor Molstad had a really nice game, and Marissa Herkett as well. Just a really solid offensive output for us there that game. And Southwest, they're a tricky guard. They play about 4 guards every possession and really try to spread you out and put on the floor. And game plan wise, I felt we accomplished that really good. We had a good game plan. Coach Bonlander had the scout on that. That was her alma mater, so that was a very big scout for her. She wasn't going to lose that at all, so it was pretty personal for her. But she had a great scout, and we guarded them really well. So it was a good showing to get our first win of the year, and a lot of jumpers within that game. That was fun. We had a really good tempo going. Had a number of fast break points. It turned them over quite a bit and scored off that as well. So it was good offensive output for us there. And that ever since then, I think it's really started to click a little bit. When you start seeing some results, all right, things get a little easier. And we obviously saw some results that game. That followed up until the Saturday. I felt we had a very solid week of practice all last week. And then Saturday, I tell you what, Billings is a good team. They're a good program. They played in the national tournament last year. They are a player down. Actually, a really good player. She probably would have been preseason player of the year in the GNAC, but still, a really accomplished program. And I have a lot of respect for Coach Wooden and what he does up there. Tremendous rebounding team, really good defensive team. And I'm not going to take anything away from our kids and what we did. We really had them confused on both ends. We were fantastic on both ends. In the second half, one thing I'd really like to note is I think we had about 5 or 6 possessions defensively where we got stops, we got great rebounds or a turnover, and we played with such pace that we just scored out of our secondary break for 5 or 6 possessions in a row. And they didn't know how to stop us. They didn't know how to guard us. And in the half court, Brad just informed me here a little bit ago that unofficially, is that what you said, Brad? Unofficially, He thinks we have a school record for assists in that game with 27. And that's the results that we're looking for right there. You know, when you can get stops and play fast and play with tempo and put a lot of pressure on the defense and score easy baskets, that's fun to play. And then when you have them confused in the half court like we did with just moving the ball, setting screens, getting your next action, finding open players, it was fun. I was just extremely pleased, as you can tell, the way I'm smiling right now with the way we played on Saturday. And that, there again, it's just kind of a result of what we saw second half against USF and the 40 minutes against Southwest that we played. So hopefully we can keep this bottled up for a little bit. That game Saturday was probably one of the finer 40 minutes played of basketball that I've been here. So really happy with our girls. We had a great film session Monday. We watched an hour of yesterday's game, and you can just kind of see those kids just grinning ear to ear, going, "Wow, yeah, coach, you were right. We were pretty good, weren't we?" Yes, yeah, we were really, really good, and so that was fun. That was a whole lot of fun. I'm really happy with our kids. But you know, now our challenge is, can we keep that bottled up? Can we keep that going? You know, it's pretty easy right now to be pleased with what you've accomplished and how you played, but can you continue to keep moving forward and getting better individually and as a team? That's tough. That's tough. So our challenge right now is to, you know, just look in the mirror and know that we got to get better. Know that we can play better basketball, and we're going to face really good teams from here on out. We got a really good Metro team coming up on Friday. We split with them last year, and it's probably pretty close to the same team coming back. Obviously, on the road it's going to be a little more difficult, but the one thing I'm really proud of our kids right now, and it's been all season, is that we have rebounded the ball pretty well compared to last year. And Metro is a very good offensive rebounding team. So if we can keep them off the glass and continue to execute well in the offensive end, you like your chances, you do. But you just never know game to game. So if we can rebound and continue to move the ball the way we have been, I like it. And then Saturday at Colorado Springs, best player in the league, all right, Brittany Hernandez at UCCS, very, very talented player. She's phenomenal and really tough to guard. Last year at home, Springs got us pretty good, and then there last year we were down 2, and we came out with 3 straight turnovers, and they stretched it to 8 points right away in the second half. And it was always about 4 to 8 points that second half, and it was actually one of our better games of the year last year, even though we did come up short. But Springs is going to be a challenge. They're kind of finding their way right now themselves. They have a new coaching staff, and so they're doing some things differently. But there again, if we play the way we did Saturday, all right, I like our chances. But that's our challenge. You know, we just got to be concerned about ourselves right now and what we're doing, and we can keep improving and getting better at what we're doing well. So there's a quick recap for you. I'm trying to be quick because I don't want Coach Henry to come up here and make jokes about me talking too long anymore. Getting tired of those, even though he's still going to do it. But any questions for me? Last weekend, Sioux Falls coming up. Coach Tinker.
I have a question that has to do with the rule changes in basketball.
Yeah.
So this is the second year of the quarters, is that
Correct.
right? So what strategies are you using at the end of the quarters that are different now than they used to be a few years ago?
I tell you what, it makes coaches think a lot more as far as possessions. You got to keep a close eye on the clock, and I'll pat myself on the back here. I will. We at the end of the third quarter, there was just over I believe it was just over a minute, and it was our ball, a dead ball situation. We ran a long set where there's, it takes about 20 seconds off the clock, and we ran into perfection. We got a hoop. We were able to come down and get a score, and we got the next possession. So that's what it does, coaching-wise, is you got to keep a real close eye on the clock as far as how many more possessions can you get. The nice thing is it allows another timeout. I think actually it adds 2 more timeouts with media, so that's good for the strategy standpoint as far as keeping your timeouts in your pocket when the burn and stuff like that. I wasn't knowing what to think of that rule last year, but I'm a big fan of it right now. The one rule I'm not a fan of yet is the 5 fouls double bonus, where you take away the 1-on-1 in basketball. That takes a lot of strategy away from coaches. offensively, you can leave poor free throw shooters on the floor a little bit more. You know, before you had to make sure you had a good free throw shooting lineup out there. But yeah, the quarters I'm a big fan of right now, especially after I was smart enough and was able to pull off a couple of extra possession for us. Yeah, I'll pat myself on the back. I didn't plan that either. That was all on him. So, no bragging. Anything else? Very good. Appreciate you guys coming out. Look forward to seeing you for 4 straight home games next week, right? Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. The players make you look good, too.
I know.
They really do.
And they did.
Like the RMAC Offensive Player of the Week, who's here. We'll talk about him later. But we also have Coach Jason Henry, who's won 4 in a row going into conference play. Welcome up, Coach Henry.
All right, great to be back out here at Pizza Ranch. Awesome meal. I was wondering, I got a text this morning at 6 o'clock this morning from Ryan asking me to ask that same question that Tinker did. So he could I didn't know what he was talking about, so he must have said the same one to Tink. But, that's good. Anytime we get a chance to look smart up here, we'll take advantage of it because there's plenty of opportunities for us to look like idiots out there too, isn't there? Right, Ryan? And it is. It's all about the kids, how they execute. I've been pretty proud of our guys. We had some opportunities like that. We had some opportunities even at the last game where I had a last second play that we threw in down in Texas, and we just said, hey, go run this, and we didn't draw it up or anything, and went and executed it and jammed it into the side of the rim, but we had some opportunities that way, so the players did a great job on our end too of executing some things, so that's great to see. As far as our games go, we have had 4 games now since I guess we've been back here as well. You know, we've had 3 of them were at home. 1 was on the road at University of Mary, which we'll talk about in a second, but that was a huge win for us. The other games being at home, you know, getting back to taking care of business at home has been a big deal for us. You know, I think it's been, 3 years? I think we were 10-0 at home and then went into the next year, won the first 3 or 4 games, so we won 13, 14 in a row at home. And that was a big deal, and we want to make sure that we're getting back to that. You know, it starts with the fans, it starts with our guys, the comfort level, you know, sleeping in our own beds, all those kind of things. But bottom line is, it's got to be a challenge when you're in a conference for teams to come up, and it's a tough place to play. When they're up to playing in the Black Hills, you know, playing at our place, playing at Black Hills State, you know, we gotta find a way to get that back. And it was a great start this year for doing that. We did have the 2 games to kind of a crazy weekend, those of you that were part of it, as far as adjusting and the weather, and Grace came up, and seems like about a month ago this all happened, but Johnson and Wales. Johnson and Wales got a game canceled up in Aberdeen, so they didn't want to come up to ours. Next thing you know, we got them playing OLC, had that all arranged, ready to go for a Friday night, and us playing Grace, and Friday morning, Friday morning, Grace calls and they went in the ditch, so we had to regroup and reschedule, and now we're playing Johnson and Wales Friday night, and we hadn't prepared for them, you know, more than 10 minutes I suppose, and those kind of things prior to that. Neither had they. You know, they weren't expecting to play us, so it was a little bit different of a weekend, but we came away with 2 wins. You know, didn't probably play overly well. I don't think we played great down in Texas the week before that. I don't think we played great that weekend. We played some guys early in that game, trying to get some, you know, more guys off the bench and doing some different things that way, so had some opportunities that way. But like I said, didn't play overly well. You know, we knew we had a long ways to go from those first couple weekends. Then came the Mary game. We're on the road. We're playing a team that won 18 games in the Northern Sun, which is one of the top conferences in the country the year before. Got a lot of those guys back, a couple all-conference players. And, you know, the other night, I guess Saturday, they're 1-0. They won their game after losing to us the first round of the conference and that kind of thing. So went up there. They beat us at our place, I would say quite easily last year, but kind of took it to us a little bit. And we went down there and gave it back to them because we played very well. We did a lot of good things on the defensive side. That's one of the things that we've been struggling with. Oh, shoot, last 2 years, basically, even the 3 years now since we were an independent, is just our defensive intensity, our defensive just game planning. We know what we want to try to get done, and we're just not going out and executing it to the level that we need to be successful on the defensive side. Now, we've made up for it. On the offensive side at times, guys like Konor, all of a sudden he scores 30 points and your defense doesn't have to look as good. But we have to do a better job, and we turn the corner. I truly believe we turned the corner about the last 5-7 games last year on the defensive end, and thought that would carry over a little bit more to start this year. Really hadn't until that Mary game, and we had the scout for that. Different guys understanding what they do great and taking it away and all those wonderful things that we try to do, and our guys went out and did it. And that kind of carried over to even on Saturday night when we played presentation. All guards out there, basically on the floor at times. They had 5 guys, 5 guards that could all shoot it. We had a different game plan, and our guys did a good job of executing that too. So we took a huge step in my mind, in our coaching staff's mind, and even in our players' mind, that they understand and they know that they can play at both ends of the floor. Right now, we're doing some good things on the offensive side. We got some shooters, we got some good post players, all those kind of things. But when we want to, compete in the RMAC, we're going to have to do it on the defensive end. So great job at turning the corner on that side this past weekend, past week, I guess. We played on Tuesday, and moving forward, we do play Metro first on Friday night down there. And we're going to have our hands full. They're picked top 1-2 in the conference by most coaches. They have a tough loss against one of the top teams in the country, is one of their only losses. But they're a team that we can go out and compete with. I think we can compete with anybody right now in the RMAC. We're excited about that. But it is at their place, and we have to play pretty dang good. They're number 1 in the conference the last couple years on the defensive side. So if you're scoring 50, 60 points, you're probably doing a pretty good job. We got to make sure that we're getting to that 60 is kind of our goal. If we can get to 63, 64, we think we have a chance to win. The problem is not very many teams do that against them. And then, of course, they don't score a ton of points, but they're able to defend and do a lot of great things. So we're going to have our hands full going down there, but I'm excited. We lost to them last year by 1 at our place. They kind of took it to us down there. Didn't lose by too many, but pretty much outplayed us the whole game. Then the next night we turn around and we play a UCCS team that was pretty good last year, and we beat them on their home court to end the year before the BH game coming back here. So a little bit different team at the UCCS on Saturday. They'll scramble, do some things pressing wise and stuff as well. But they're not probably the defensive juggernaut that Metro is. But they're a team that can give you trouble, especially at their place as well. So it's a great weekend to open up. It's a tough weekend. There's no question about it. Like we told our guys, you got to win the first one to win 2 on the road. You got to find a way to split to have a chance to be in the playoffs when you're on the road. But we got some confidence going right now, and we think we can play against anybody and compete. And we do what we're supposed to do. We got a chance to win both those games too. So we're excited about where we're at. Real quick, I'll get Konor up here. We did have our first player of the week ever in a year and a quarter, whatever it's been now. I don't know if he's going to give half of it to the team and then half of it to Jake Sullivan for not getting it the first couple of weeks as well. But we'll see what Konor does with the award. But Konor was the player of the week when he was out in Mary. When we did win that game, a big part of it was because of him. He did have 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. So, he's a post guy that's three assists away from a triple-double, and I've never had a guy have a triple-double since I've been here. So, for him to be able to do that, and he probably had 4 or 5 other ones. We shot 60% in there, so there probably wasn't a lot of other opportunities for him to get those assists, but guys are knocking down shots for him. He's going to see plenty of double teams coming up here now. He's been used to it. He's been going through it for the last few years. That kind of thing, but we got guys right now that can knock down the shots. So he gets in the double digits assists these next couple weeks. I know he'll be as excited about that, and he can talk to you more about that. But was player of the week in the RMAC. Did end up with 28, I think, the next night. Only had 6 rebounds, so he's not going to start the next couple games. He didn't get his double digits rebounds, so he must not be working hard enough or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're excited to have that in our program. Give some recognition, like we told the guys the other day. They were very excited for him. His teammates have been awesome with it, getting him the ball. You're a post guy and getting, he's leading the conference with 24 points. I think 15th or something like that in the country as far as scoring. but a lot of that has to do with his teammates and things too. So, but yeah, any quick questions on any of the stuff coming up, going on? Any questions for me? Everybody wants to hear Konor, huh? Yes, we do. Let's go. All right. Well, we are back. Yep. Go ahead, Lex.
How come you have 28 games this year? I thought you were low only 26.
We have 28 because to start the year, you can play in two. Basically, they're counters, but they're called exempt games. As long as they're within your region, and we play two regional in-region games. Both Ryan and I will do that. Actually, pretty much everybody in the conference, everybody in the country basically does it now. As long as they're within the region, you doesn't have to count towards your 26. So you know, we're fortunate to be able to go do that. Our problem is our region. We're up here for our region, and the rest of our region is down in Oklahoma and Texas. You know, so we have to make those long trips. And/or they're coming up here, you know, that kind of thing too. So we signed a couple-year deal to be able to do it again. So we'll have those games at home either next year or the following year. So advantage. There are some other rules within that. Who was it? Moorhead played 36 games one year. Because there's Metro, like Metro opened up this year. Metro's already played like whatever, before they even would have gotten to our game, and we went to play those two, we would have had 4 games in. I think they'd have 9 or something like that. I mean, just because there's a pre-conference tournament as well that you can do once every 4 years. I mean, all these goofy rules that you have that within the NCAA to try to get a few more games and get some exposure and stuff too. So, but yeah, with all those, you can play a ton of games if you want to every 4 years. Any other questions? Yes?
All the media timeouts. Is it a little overdone?
You know what? I think it's great for us right now because we have some pretty good players that I don't like taking off the floor. And when you're playing back-to-back games in the RMAC, especially with the elevation and things, I mean, this kid right here sitting here has got to play 30-plus minutes a game. I don't know if he can do that without media timeouts. So right now, we're asking for more of them. So I apologize for you. But no, actually, the studies that have been out there with the new media timeouts and what they do with the Division I, the Division II actually does a little bit different. Our media timeouts are shorter than the Division I's, but the studies have actually proven that the game is actually shorter than it is when you do the other, because we get rid of some of our timeouts. So instead of having 5 timeouts at the end of a game, and you know we're all burning them, and both teams are burning them, it's a close game, and the last, everybody's been a part of that watching on TV, right? Is if you don't have a DVR, you drive yourself nuts because you're watching a game and there's a timeout every possession. So the last, literally 50 seconds could take 20 minutes. And that stuff doesn't happen anymore. So the studies that have been out there, even at the end with D1s, and they have 90-second to 2-minute timeouts, where we only have 75 to 90-second timeouts for all those media, it's actually a shorter game. I thought that with Ryan when the women went to quarters and then a media timeout each time and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to be forever. I don't think we've been shorter. It's been way shorter. We've started on time more in this last year and then on Saturday than we did in my first 10 years here. You know, so it does get annoying because all of a sudden you take a timeout and then about a minute and a half later then there's another timeout and that kind of thing. But the games have actually been proven to be shorter. So. But yeah, when we have guys like that, I like them right now, that's for sure. We can play guys a little bit extended minutes. Anything else? All right, we'll get Konor up here, and you know, as far as him being in our program, we've already filed a petition with the NCAA to get him another 2 years back, so we can have him. Obviously, last year, you know, we were kind of rolling a little bit, and he got hurt, missed a number of games, and we struggled, you know, so. Knock on whatever the heck we can find to knock on, that doesn't happen again this year. But that just shows you what he means to our program, what our guys believe in him, you know, and all those kind of things. It's not just the scoring. You know, we sure he gets Player of the Week and Offensive Player of the Week, but he's a great leader and he's done a great job this year of really stepping up his game, being a captain, that leadership. You know, Coach Tinker talked a lot about it. When you have that many seniors, we got 6 seniors, that's like having 25 in the football team, and it makes so much difference as long as they're willing to go lead. And Konor's done a great job, as those other guys have, of being good leaders. Yes, we need him to score points. Yes, we need him to rebound. Yes, we need him to do those things. But the reason why we have a chance to be pretty good is because of his leadership this year again. So we're excited to have him in our program. We're going to try to get a couple more years back. But if not, we'll deal with this year and kind of go from there. So, Konor Kulas. Ask a lot of questions. You guys got a good 10 minutes. Oh shoot, I didn't say hi. I'm sorry, Konor. And Conor's best, absolute, greatest fans of all times are skipping school today because they got to cancel. My daughters are here, so they got some questions for Konor. So Konor, don't start getting nervous.
Yeah, I'm still kind of wondering how they got school off in Wisconsin. We're still walking. There's a t-shirt over, I think. But yeah, I'm Konor Kulas. I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin, senior industrial engineer. It's my 5th year in the program, so it's kind of cool to see it all come full circle. I remember my freshman year having Mike Dietz and some of those guys that were really influential in helping me on the court and off the court, just getting acclimated to mines and how to study on the road trips and as well as compete at the highest level. So now at school we have a lot of talented freshmen, especially like Logan. I try to pass on as much as I can because I know he's going to be kind of the future once I get out of here. But besides that, we just have a great group of guys. We get along great. We hang out all the time. I think that's going to help us a long ways down the road. Coming up this weekend, we play 2 tough teams, but we're definitely excited for it. We definitely didn't like how we were picked to finish in the RMAC. We have a lot of people to prove wrong. It's kind of like the football team did. Just it's not how we want our season to finish, and we hope to come out and beat some people. Can I take any questions? Anna, Gretchen, you guys first, or you guys need some time to think?
No. Maybe later.
I see you in the gym shooting all the time, Konor, and I don't know why Coach Henry doesn't let you shoot threes, so I'll just put a good word for you, I will.
No, I stay in the gym, so I'll be ready to shoot them if I have to, but right now I'm fine with being underneath the hoop and letting Jake and Marco and those guys shoot. They're a little better, but I'll be ready if I have to. Gretchen, I'm ready.
Wait, you told me to say something.
Ask him.
When are you going to get a haircut?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Maybe after graduation.
Longer than my hair.
Yeah, I know. You let me know. I still like those blue extensions you have.
They're pink.
Oh, pink.
And thank you.
What is industrial engineering? What do you do with that degree?
I'm getting a Six Sigma certificate. So with that, it's a lot of like improvement type things. So you can go into a manufacturing plant and try and cut some things out of their line to make it run more smooth and more efficient. You can kind of be the middle person between some of the engineers that build the products and then the laborers on the line. Just kind of be someone that can connect the gaps. Tom?
Did your dad teach you the old school post moves?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of grew up playing with him and all of his old buddies at the church gym, so all I saw was pump fakes and up and unders, so I got a lot of my moves from him.
They've worked well for you, haven't they?
Yep. Yep. Tom will always remind me that I lead the conference in missed dunks so far this year, so I need to either just use the backboard or make them.
We have a discussion after every game,
Yeah.
Konor.
Every game.
But hey, Konor, what is the biggest difference you've noticed being in the RMAC now as opposed to your first couple of years? Just in terms of maybe the wear and tear on your body, or maybe just the style of play in the league? What have you noticed the most?
There's a lot of differences. The level of competition is much higher than some of the NAI teams we were playing, but it's also nice having a set schedule where you play every Saturday, Sunday, compared to trying to cram 4 games into a week. We had a couple trips to California where we played 5 games in 7 days, and by the end you couldn't walk that next week because you're just so sore.
Do you know the men you'll match up with in your next 2 games?
I'm not sure yet. We haven't really gone over the scout. We go over the scout. It's usually on Thursday afternoon and then Saturday morning before the day of the game.
Anything else for Konor?
Good job, Konor.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Konor. Congratulations. You don't have to cut your hair until you lose. Okay? No, actually, if you can grow it like that, just keep growing. Okay. Thanks for coming out, everybody. What do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah.
Got we're gonna have a new member of the Hardrock family here when they set a date. But I just thought I'd let everybody know, maybe embarrass some people over here. Coach Cadleck got engaged here recently to his lovely soon-to-be bride sitting right there in front of him.
Big congratulations, big congratulations. By the way, tickets for the Black Hills State School of Mines game will be going on sale December 1st. I do believe that. So just a reminder there, that'll be at the Civic Center Ice Arena, the rivalry games that we look forward to. So we'll be back next week. Wish the Hard Rockers good luck this weekend. We'll be back at the Hall of Fame. So thanks to the Peach Ranch. Thanks for coming out. Have a great week.